Hey there. Hey there. Hey there. It's Cassia. AS. MR. And in today's video, I had this idea probably about like a week ago now, and I watch videos all the time on YouTube of AITA Confessions. Am I the a-hole? I love seeing some of my favorite YouTubers. I think it's like Corey, and there's another one. I can't remember her name right now. But they do like Am I the a-hole confession, like YouTube videos where they read out of the Reddit community. And I was like, I don't know if this has been done because I haven't searched for it before in like an ASMR pretense, but I thought it would be cool to do like an ASMR version where I kind of have some random tapping triggers throughout, soft-spoken. My subscribers love my soft-spoken videos, so I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to do that. There's 1,994 people online in the Am I the a-hole Am I the a-hole community. Now there's a few different ways that I can sort the feed. So there's hot, new, top, controversial, and rising. So I thought that maybe I should have done like top all time Am I the a-hole ones, or even like I don't know, what else is there? Hot. Maybe just like the hot ones that are trending, because some of you who are fellow Am I the a-hole readers may have already seen like the top ones. So I might do the hot ones that are like coming out right now. So I'm just gonna pick some random ones, and then you guys can tell me whether you think they were the a-hole or not in the comments. I'll give my 2 cents as well. And yeah, so let's have a look. I might bring my laptop. Okay, so we have Am I the a-hole for not making food for my dad's stepkids? I, 16 male, make my own lunch for school. I started making them when I was 11 and my mum was sick with cancer. And now I make all my lunches. My dad refuses to give me lunch money for school. Said no way in heck to making them. Mum made his, and now he pays for lunch every day. And doesn't want to give me permission to eat outside school, which is an option with parents' consent, because he'd need to pay for that. So I make them. I work part-time, and I started paying for the ingredients that I use in my lunches. Okay. My dad got married 2-ish years ago. His wife has 3 kids who are 5, 7, and 8. For about a year, there's been this issue where my dad and his wife want me to make all 4 lunches. They said if I'm making my own, I should make my siblings, and I say siblings because they're not my siblings, lunches too, to save their mum time and to streamline everything. I was like, no. And my dad's wife was shocked. She called me out for making stuff only for myself. She said, it's crazy that I would look at my siblings and not want to make a few things for them too. It escalated to where they said I shouldn't get to eat their dinners if I won't participate in taking care of the family. So I buy my own dinner stuff now and make my own. Now they're calling me out for doing that. They said I could make dinner for all 4 of us and then we could eat dinner earlier and my dad and his wife could do something else. My dad's wife didn't make lunches for her kids on several occasions to try and make me relent. The teachers ended up feeding them and writing to her about it. She was super pissed off and asked me if I was ashamed. I told her they're her kids and her problem, not mine. I also suggested she take it up with my dad if she's unhappy and wants help feeding her kids because it's not my job. She said, if dad won't feed me, he won't feed her kids. I shrugged her off. Monday was a big day in all of this. I was home for hours alone and made a nice dinner. I was eating when my dad's wife came home with her kids who were hungry and she exploded on me and asked if I'd made them dinner. I said no. She demanded to make it up to them and I made them lunch for Tuesday or something. She called me a bunch of names and told me she effing hates me because I'm supposed to be a decent kid and yet won't help her kids and it's not how you treat family. I told her it's not my job and we're not a family. I pointed out she married a guy who isn't a good dad to his own kid and now her only interactions with said kid were attempting to dump responsibility onto him. Me. I'm doing brackets. So she really has no reason to think I owe her anything. Which of course led her to calling me all sorts of things. Okay. I'm gonna say he is not the a-hole. What the actual heck? He's only 16 and supposed to be like responsible for making his step siblings lunches when they don't even want to feed him and they're not even I'm hoping that everyone agrees with me here in saying that he is not the a-hole. Wow, that was intense. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, I'm just having a look for another good one. Okay. Am I the a-hole for not inviting someone to the community block party since people don't like her? And she asked why, and I told her because she is considered a jerk by the neighbors. Okay. I live in a little neighborhood. Lots of kids and grandmas. The community is pretty nice besides one person. A new woman moved in by the hill in the fall. She's right next to the park where people hang out. The problem is she is mental about her property. She has a very big area and there's no line to the park where her property is. If your ball goes over, she will come and tell you to get off her property. The kids' school bus stop is right there, and like 40 kids get on in the morning. They don't all fit on the sidewalk and will stand in the grass. She put her sprinklers on and soaked all the kids before school. They were not messing things up. In the winter, she yelled at a group of kids having a snowball fight, and they went over the line. It has happened so many times, and happened when people were still technically in the park. I wish she would just put up a fence, since it actually shows where it begins. So basically, no one in the neighborhood is fond of her. The kids don't like her, the parents don't, and even the old ladies find her to be destroying the peace. We're supposed to have a block party in about 2 weeks, and I organise it. This year I got a petition to not include her. I also moved it so it would be on the other side of the park, so no one would be anywhere near her property. I sent out invites to all the homes besides hers. She came up to me and asked why she didn't get an invite. I told her because the neighborhood find her to be a jerk. She called me a jerk, and I am morally conflicted. This comes out of the neighbors' pockets. No city funding. I don't think he's the a-hole, considering there was a petition to not invite her. I feel like she's very disliked, but I feel like maybe instead of him just being like, oh, the neighborhood thinks you're a jerk, maybe he could tell her why. He could be like, look, there's been some issues with your property and the park. Have you ever considered like getting a fence? I don't know. It could have probably been handled differently instead of just not inviting her, but I don't think he's an a-hole, so, or the a-hole. Okay. Am I the a-hole for not carrying my wife's stuff into the house? My wife got home from my daughter's after a couple of days staying over to spend time with the grandkids. She came in the house and said, there are 5 cases of soda and my suitcase you need to bring in. My response was, I'll help you bring them in, but I'm not your servant. She immediately incensed, saying, you're not doing anything and I have to get my computer set up and get ready for a conference call. You're so selfish. In the past, she has asked me a couple times to clean the interior and wash and wax her car, usually after seeing me cleaning my own vehicle. And I've said each time that I would be happy to help her, but I'm not doing it myself. My parents always preached that the person driving the vehicle is responsible for taking care of it. I do get her car in for periodic professional maintenance and any dealer service, but I expect to help her in generally keeping it clean and looking nice. Okay. I think if she's like ordering him around, he's probably not being the a-hole, but if she was like asking for help in a nice way or whatever, then he probably is the a-hole. So it really depends, but I guess I don't think he is the a-hole because it sounds like she's just ordering him to do stuff. It's just saying, oh, can you please help me get this out of the car? I do think it would be nice if he could clean her car sometimes if he's cleaning hers, but again, if she's like ordering him around, it might not make him want to do it. So I'm gonna say not the a-hole, Okay. Oh, what is this? Am I the a-hole for letting my son find out my diagnosis over social media when he wouldn't talk to me alone? Okay. This issue started a while ago. My son married Becky. Becky and my daughter do not get along. Looking in on it, their personalities don't mix well. They frustrate each other a lot. About a year ago, the family was having a barbecue and Becky was asked to bring paper plates so no one had to clean plates. Okay. She bought plastic plates so my daughter would need to wash them in order to give them back to Becky by the end of the night. The barbecue was at her home. I think it was a breaking point for her because she grabbed me and went inside. She had a big rant where she was not pleasant about Becky. It was mostly about her not following instructions and in her eyes that she was incompetent. I told her to calm down and just enjoy the night. I'll do the dishes. A few days later, I got a call from my son saying he will only communicate with me if Becky is there. Okay. So group chats if she's on the phone or in person. He heard that we were talking crap about his wife and this is what he's doing now. Same thing with my daughter. He didn't let me explain. So from now on, we've been communicating that way. It's been frustrating at times and I don't feel like I can talk to him about anything personally. This brings me to the main issue. I have breast cancer. I informed the kids one by one about it. I'm not very comfortable to explain my diagnosis with his wife in the room. We're not close and I'm very emotional about it. So I texted him that we needed to talk alone and he told me that anything I can say in front of his wife. I called him but no answer and me saying it was very important didn't do anything. My option was to tell him with an audience or not tell him and let him learn from someone else. Chose not to tell him and I had my first appointment and my daughter made a post on Instagram wishing me luck and support. He called me up, peeved off that he found out about this on social media and called me a jerk for not telling him. My point was I did try and he didn't listen to me. Okay, she's definitely not the a-hole. She just wanted to have a private conversation with her son about her condition. And if she didn't want the daughter-in-law there because they're not close at all and she probably only just found out about it, she's definitely not the a-hole at all. I feel bad for her. And like, if she said she really needed to speak about something important to her son and he refused, well, she did try. So, okay. Am I the a-hole for clapping back at my roommate who constantly age shames me? My 21 female college roommate, 22 female. I'm confused. What? Are they only like a year apart? I think they're only a year apart in age. So she's the 22-year-old is very introverted and has a lot of self-diagnosed mental illnesses, anxiety, depression, OCD. I'm very social and outgoing and I enjoy partying and having friends. Every time I'm on my way out to a party, she acts like I'm trying too hard or being childish. She thinks it's impossible that anyone could actually enjoy socializing and that people only go to parties to appear cool. She is convinced everyone secretly longs to stay in every night like her. She also age shames me all the time, implying that I'm too old for clubbing or partying, even though I recently just became legal. I came back from a college party and she was in her pajamas eating on the floor like always. We started talking and she said, I grew out of my party phase freshman year. When do you think you'll grow out of it? You're not a freshman anymore. Aren't you a little old to go clubbing? And implied that I'm old and washed up like she does. And then I said, I'm sorry that I didn't switch from introvert to extrovert when I became a college junior. We can't all be mentally ill introverts. She said that I'm why she hates extroverts and that I'm disgustingly ableist, even though all her illnesses are self-diagnosed. Okay, I don't think she's the a-hole. I think she probably could have missed the we can't all be mentally ill introverts. But other than that, like if she's constantly being rude to her, I think she just needs a new roommate, if I'm being honest. And like saying you're too old, like you literally just turned 21. What do you mean? Anyway, these are so weird and interesting. Some people are just so random. Okay. Okay. Am I the a-hole for refusing to move from a comfy chair in a coffee shop? I, 23 female, recently moved to a new place and I'm getting to know the neighborhood. A week ago, I found a small cat coffee shop with great cake. So yesterday, I went for a coffee. I freelance, so I set my own hours. The coffee shop is relatively small, with under 10 tables available. I sat at the most comfortable chair in the shop, one of 4 chairs at the biggest table. I was a little into my drink and cake when a group of 4 middle-aged people asked me if I could move so they could sit together there. All 4 were on the larger size, and I could understand how they would be uncomfortable on other seats in the shop. The one I was sitting in had high back armrests and was plush with soft leather. Oh my goodness, leather. I, however, would also like to sit comfortably. I told them they were free to take the other 3 chairs and pull an extra one to the table. They told me they had something to discuss amongst themselves and would appreciate if I would move. Again, I told them I liked the chair and was there first, so I would not move. They grumbled about selfish youngsters, gave me the stink eye, and asked the shop to make their orders to go. When I told my family about this, my mum told me it was selfish of me to take a table for 4 when I was there by myself. Yes, there were plenty of other tables for 4 people. One would seat 6, but cramped in a corner. The other chairs at the tables were not as comfortable. Okay. I think that possibly, yes. Me personally, I don't really ever pick like the biggest table if I was like eating alone, unless it was a massive coffee shop and there was like no one there and there was plenty of space. But like if you're sitting alone, you should probably pick, I don't know, it's kind of hard, but like it would be a bit awkward for them to sit all around you at the same table. So it would probably just be easier to move. I think maybe, yeah. I'll just say yes, she's the a-hole, because I haven't really said that about any of the other ones, because a lot of them are not the a-hole. Okay. Just trying to look for another one. Okay. Am I the a-hole for drawing my niece without her deformity? I, 25 female, have one niece and one nephew from my sister, 8 female and 12 male. I love them both very dearly and spend a lot of time with them. This weekend, we were all at my parents' house and I was drawing with my niece. For context, she has a pretty mild cleft lip, enough to be noticeable, but not enough that it has had a significant impact on her life. I feel really bad because she is obviously self-conscious about it. I don't bring it up if she doesn't, and I handle the topic with care. Not that I think much about it anyway. She is my niece and I love her. End of story. She asked me to draw her, but specifically did not want me to include her cleft lip. I do not think it's my place to force her to be uncomfortable about something she struggles with. So I asked, "Are you sure it's still a beautiful part of you?" And she insisted, so I obliged. Also, for context, this was a quick cartoony pencil drawing, not a photorealistic drawing of what she would look like without. When my sister came into the room and asked about the drawing, she seemed annoyed and pulled me aside to ask why I would draw such a thing. I said that my niece asked me not to draw it and it didn't feel right to fight, so that was that. My sister insisted that I draw it in the future and was overall really upset that I didn't include it. I guess I don't have a condition or anything like that, so I don't know what it's like to be her or in my sister's shoes, so I figured it was better to skip it than fight her on it and potentially worsen the insecurity. I still feel very torn and need some outside input because I was just trying to have a good time with my niece. She's not the a-hole. If her niece said she didn't want it in the drawing, it would actually be meaner to put it in the drawing, in my opinion. Like, I mean, I feel like her sister was probably just upset because that's her kid, but like, if her niece said she didn't want it in, she didn't want it in. So she's definitely not the a-hole. Okay. Am I the a-hole? I left my classroom when the bell rang. I have the horrible teacher that spends more time yelling than teaching, then gets mad at us when we don't understand. Yesterday I was already having a horrible day. Intact. My past 3 weeks have been. Oh, in fact, my past 3 weeks have been. So I've been reading during class. But anyway, yesterday we were learning about habitat or something like that, but she spent so much time of the class yelling at us that she didn't have time to get through all the material. So she pulled the bell doesn't dismiss you, I dismiss you. And I got up, walked to the door and left. And my mum is saying sitting in class reading a book is rude and that I shouldn't have done that even though I had another class to get to that was in another building 4 flights down. I just want to know if I was in fact the a-hole or if I'm completely semi-valid. This is in high school. don't think they're an a-hole, but I think they were probably wrong. Like, everyone has annoying teachers in high school, and like, I'm sure she's not fun, but unfortunately sometimes you just have to respect the authority and, you know, finish the class or whatnot. Yeah, I don't know if I would have left when I was in school. Probably not. I was usually good. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if you liked it. It was just kind of something that I wanted to try, and you know, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed it, relaxed, maybe listened to all of it, or even fell asleep. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. We are over 11,000 subscribers now. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for watching. Cassia ASMR. Goodbye.